G'day folks, welcome back to the channel. Had the Tommy since end of September last year. We've just started the 4th month, so what's that, January, February, March, April. We've just started April. 6-month review. It's actually about 7 months. We've done a few trips, so I think I'm okay to talk about just how it's gone over the last 6 or 7 months. I did do a walk around when I first got it, so you're welcome to have a look at that, and that basically just tells you all the components. Back then obviously I couldn't do a review because I hadn't used it that much, but we've done a few long trips, the longest trip being 9 days. Most of the trips range between 2 days and 6 days, and we've done quite a few of them over the last 7 months. So what this is basically another walk around, and we'll talk about the bits I do like about the Tommy camper and the bits I don't like about the Tommy camper. The bits that, had I had to do it all over again, I would have done a little bit differently, and some of the things that the Tommy camper came with that could have been done better, if that makes sense. We'll work our way around the Tommy camper. We'll start up this end. The wiring was all done for me when I bought the camper. It could have been done better. If I had to do it again, I probably would buy the Tommy camper and get the electrical system done through a professional installer that just does electrical systems. So I'm not completely disappointed with it, don't get me wrong, it's a good job. It just could have been done better. Things like I've had to replace a few Anderson plugs. The next is I changed the bolts out. I wish I'd have spent more time researching how to fit the Tommy camper to the tray. I used 4 bolts. That was the first thing that was recommended to me, and I didn't even think differently. Take 4 bolts out, it's not too hard. The bolts were in a fairly good location, so it wasn't too hard to access. But when it comes to removing the Tommy on a regular basis, and I do that, I take it off when I'm home after a trip, and I just use the ute as a ute. A much easier way to remove and replace the Tommy camper is through quick clips. These clamps here, you can see clamps into where the legs fit. So just clamps in there, you do the nut up here, and it's on. It's that easy. There's no getting underneath it with rattle guns. There's no holding the top and getting underneath. And that was the problem I was having with the bolts. It wasn't hard work, but it was hot work, and it was a little bit more awkward, or a lot more awkward than the quick release. So very happy with the new quick release clamps. The water, 2 taps. I've got one pressurized, the pump on the other side is pressurized, and this one here is for the kitchen. This is a non-pressurized system. Had I had to do it again, I would have probably put a filtration system in between the tank and the pump, and the tank and this. I haven't got that, but I have got now an external filtration system, so it is getting filtered, but I would rather have the filtration system permanently built in. The seals, as we're looking at this, the seals on the Tommy camper are excellent. Can't complain about the seals on the Tommy camper. We've spent a bit of time in the dust, a lot of time in the sand, and we haven't had any trouble with the seals. The only problem with the seals, occasionally, the seals will slip down just like that. Oh, so they're a bit of fit, you can see that, and it's just a matter of pushing them back up. They're not glued on, and I like it like that. I'm happy to push them back in on occasion. So the fridge, I got a 110 litre Dometic. It's a upright fridge, so freezer at the top, fridge underneath. Absolutely sensational fridge, can't complain about the fridge. I've found after 6 months of use, I have to lift this just a little bit more, because when you lift that, it undoes a clip at the top and it lifts a clip at the bottom. The clip at the bottom, if you don't give it a good old tweak up at the top, clip at the bottom sort of gets stuck a little bit. That's about my only negative on the actual door opening part of the fridge. As for having an upright versus a chest freezer, that's a personal thing. I've had both, and the chest one definitely retains the cold and is less pressure on your electrical system. The upright, a little bit more pressure on the electrical system, but it's so much easier to use. When you open it up, everything's in front of you. You can see everything at the same time, and you can just pull out what it is that you need. It's also got the freezer at the top and the fridge down the bottom, and when you're not a cook like me, having pre-prepared meals that you just stick in the travel oven is just perfect. So as we work our way around, the switchboard for the electrical system is just here beside the fridge, and the main switch for all the electrics is right here. So when you want to do any work or do anything on the electrical system, you turn that off. You've got no power back here to any of the appliances. The electrical board hasn't let me down yet. The fuses are behind the board. It's very easy to access the fuses, just that board just clips in. So you just pull it, it unclips. It's got a few electrical plugs down here. It's got the 2 USB ports and a cigarette lighter socket, so you can put more USB in there if you want to. So I use this as a little charging area for my small stuff. Good little space here just under the fridge to keep a few things that don't fit anywhere else, I guess. This area in here above the switch is wasted space. What I'm going to do there, that's going to become the space that I keep my cutlery. So at the moment my cutlery is just in a plain old bag. I've got wasted space here, so somehow I'm going to make that into an area that houses my cutlery. The kitchen area works excellent. Love the kitchen area, probably my favourite place in the whole Tommy camper. It is so easy just to get out of the car, come to the kitchen, table comes down, all your tea and coffee components are here. All your cutlery's there, the gas burner's here, all the gas bottles are kept in here, the gas canisters. Breakfast cereal, you've got everything you need just at your fingertips. So the moment you get out of the car, it's less than 60 seconds and your belly's on and you're having a cup of tea. A couple of little drawers up here that come with the Tommy camper. This top shelf, 2 little drawers. I stole this idea of another YouTube channel. A little bit of dishwashing liquid in here, fill it with water, clean your hands, and it also does your dishes. So you just literally spray your dish, and you've got a little bit of water, give it a wash, and then you dry it and everything's clean. Great idea. I wish I knew the YouTube channel I stole this off. I'd give them a plug, but I don't. So I've literally got everything at my fingertips here for eating and drinking. Kickass Travel oven, it's been with me only recently. I got this recently. I had a Road Chef previously. The Road Chef was about 3.5, 4 years old. Massive amount of use out of the Road Chef, and it wasn't a bad oven at all. I enjoyed it, but it only lasted about 3.5, 4 years and it died. Next oven's Travel oven by Kickass. The reason I went with Kickass is Kickass contacted me and said, would you work with us? And I said, well, yep, how about you supply me a Kickass oven? Mine just broke, and they did. So I got this one for free. Thank you very much, Kickass. And absolutely excellent oven. I've been using this now for about probably 3 trips. All of my cooking pretty much is done in the Kickass oven. I bring away pre-prepared meals. So I take a meal out in the morning, and that's defrosted by the afternoon. I put the oven on and in goes the meal. The oven has a couple of shelves. Doesn't come with this. I bought these separate, just a silicone type tray, very easy to clean. So my thawed out meal goes into this, straight back in the oven, and an hour and 15 minutes or so later it's ready to eat. I use an electric jug when my missus is around and she wants to put the billy on. She'd rather put the electric on. I use the gas when I'm on my own. So a quick chat about the doors. Happy with the doors, the hinges are great. The actual door locks, when that pushes up and you turn a key, you'll see a little lug. So there's no lug, and when it locks, a little pin drops down. You can see that pin there. The problem that I'm having when that latches up and you do the lock up, if this isn't pushed in, it doesn't lock. So you've got to have the wares about you to push that in and lock it. or it doesn't lock. So you can't just run around with a key, you have to actually physically push that in to lock that latch. Not my favourite locking system. It certainly wouldn't be one that I'd use as a design, but that's what comes with the Tommy camper, and it works. You've just got to be careful with it. Okay, it brings us to the back of the camper. Back door's good, no problems there. It locks easy, locks well. Nice solid hinges on the door, so it'll last a lifetime, I reckon. The seals on the door, it's a double sealed door, so the back of it when you're traveling is probably the area you'll get most dust, and with a double seal there you won't get dust in the camper. So I did put a second spare on, so big thanks to Tommy Camper for supplying the bracketry for the second spare. That was a freebie. The wheel sits in a cradle, it's got a pinned area, and it's got a frame on the back on the other side of the camper wall to support all that bracketry, and take the weight of the spare tyre. So we've got the spare tyre in the bin at the back, and it all sort of works very well there. The awning that I put on when the camper was new is a 30-second awning. It works well. Probably not the best awning in the world, but certainly nowhere near the worst awning in the world. I've had this up for the last 4 days. Every day I've put it up and I've put it down. I've had absolutely no issues putting it up or down. It spins easy, it packs away easy, Velcro, everything. It says a 30-second awning. It's not a 30-second awning. Probably takes me about 2.5 minutes. I'm happy with that. 2.5 minutes is not bad. Does have a leg. Very rarely use the leg. Leg is for poor weather, a little bit of wind. You put the leg down, you tie it down so that the awning doesn't flap about. But in anything less than 15 knots, you don't really need that. And anything more than 15 knots, probably put it away and put it up the next day. Good hinges on the awning, and structurally it's very sound. The bracketry that comes with this awning wasn't used to fit it to the camper, because it was just 2 L brackets and it would have bent the crap out of the camper. So I had Tommy Campers made up, or the engineers made up a big long solid bit of aluminium to fit that to, and it's worked a treat. The driver's side of the Tommy camper, we've got the Kickass privacy screen fitted. Absolutely sensational Kickass privacy screen. Highly recommend it. It is just awesome. It is so easy to put out. It is so easy to put away, and it's just what you need, especially if you're taking your missus out with you and she doesn't obviously pee in the bush. Water tank. I wouldn't put the water tank where it is right now. If I had to do it all again, I'd have the water tank right up the other side next to the fridge, because there's a lot of wasted space up there, and I'd have the electrical system that's up there down this end, so you'd be able to access your electrical system when there's an issue way easier if it was down this side, and you'd have a lot less wasted space. I need some sort of removable drawer system. The reason it needs to be removable is because you need access to your plumbing and to your electrics when you have an issue. If you fit a drawer system in there and you have no access to that, when there's an issue, you can't get there. Okay, on this side, this here is the lounge suite, they call it. Tommy Campers call it a lounge, I call it a seat. It is just a bit of aluminium with a bit of carpet over it, and it works and does exactly what it's supposed to do. Gives you somewhere to sit on the inside, especially when you're getting changed. I do have a slide out table in there that I arranged to have put in, and that seat works perfectly with that slide out table. This is an area here that could probably be better designed, and I'm in the throes of thinking of what I should put there. This area here, right here, I could have a drawer system for my camera gear, and I probably will. Toilet goes this side, and that's not going to change. Toilet system works excellent. There's a door in there, so I can push it in and shut the door, and you don't even know there's a toilet there. Night time, you open the door, it opens all the way out. The toilet comes out into the foyer, and you've got somewhere to pee during the night. Don't have to get out of the camper. Works a treat. So this area, very happy with it. You've got the water pump just in here, the bracketry on the inside for the spare tyre. Up here we've got, that's the inside of the drawer, all the clothing, and a little bit of bric-a-brac goes in there, but mostly just clothing and toweling, a little bit of bedding. Massive drawer, the table's underneath it, just perfect. It's so cool having that much storage inside the van. That brings us to the top, which is the scissor fold up roof. That gives you the space to use your bed. The bed is about 2050 long, and it's a queen size bed basically, about 190 wide I think. So there's plenty of room there for two people, very comfortable. Just got the normal foam mattress on the bed with a topper, and then the bedding. The two lights in the camper, I'm not impressed with at all. I'd change them I probably will change them down the track. I haven't changed them yet. The two lights are just standard small white lights. I'd really like an adjustable dimmer if they remain white, but I'd also like an option there for a yellow light so we don't attract as many bugs in the night time. The fly screen that goes over the door is excellent, and it certainly does stop the bugs from getting in, but it means you've got to use the fly screen if you don't want the bugs while you've got a light on inside. But it would be nice to have better lighting. The ease of getting the roof up and down, it is a little bit heavy. It's not too bad. I'm certainly managing it very easily at the moment, and I can imagine for the next 10 to 15 years I won't have any problems. There is an electrical option, and you can get it so that you press a button and it goes up automatically. You press a button, it comes down automatically. I didn't go that way because I was quite happy to push it and pull it. Getting it down is very easy, pulling it down, and putting it up just a little bit more difficult than pulling it down, but not that much more. The fan that's inside works great. I couldn't imagine being without it. On the hot days and the hot nights, you cannot get in there without putting it on. It's just lovely. The actual flaps that zip, the zippers are really good quality. I like the zippers they've used, and the flaps are massive, so when you undo all of the windows all the way around, it feels like you're sleeping outside. It's just great, the design up there, so very happy with the inside of the Tommy camper. So the negatives in relation to this: wasted space, got the electrical and the water system that should be swapped, the not very good use of space that's left, but that's a negative from my perspective. I just haven't designed anything or put anything in there that I should have yet. The solar panel on the roof could have been better positioned. And that's the solar panel repositioned, which you shouldn't have had to do. Like, I've just bought this. How hard would it have been, instead of putting it right down over the back door, where if you're going to pack anything at all, you walk up the back steps and you pack it at the back. Position at the front. It's exactly the same. The wiring's about 2 foot longer, so there's no cost. Common sense. It's called common sense. The electrics, the actual connections, I think could have been a better job than they were from new, and the bolts could have been tighter. 20% of the bolts were just too loose in my opinion. So they're the negatives. Also the locks. I don't like the locks on the doors. You do have to use both hands. You have to push in with a hand and turn the key, or the lock does not lock. So they're the negatives. Not a lot of negatives, but the positives are just everywhere. Absolutely love this thing, and I wouldn't change it for the world. If I had to do it again, I'd do it exactly the same, and probably with a little bit more research in relation to how to get the best use out of that storage space. If you've got any ideas for me in relation to cupboardry for in here beside the toilet, or something in there, I don't know what, let me know in the comments, and I'll have a read through, but I've got to do something there. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button if you got something out of it, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.